All right, guys, let me introduce our next speakers. Like I said, it's a very tight program, but we want you to enjoy meeting all these amazing people. So, guys, if you can't see me, I'm sorry, but I am here and I am wearing my fan jersey. So this is the awesome. Okay, so Christian and Raluca's eldest went to elementary school with my son Dean, and so this was Dean's fan jersey. I'm very happy to be wearing it. Very happy to have you guys here today. I previewed with Raluca because I'm married and I know what this is like. I'm gonna have Christian introduce Raluca and Raluca introduce Christian. I think that'll be fun. So take it away, guys.
Let me start because I have way more to say than Raluca. So I was not only, so first of all, thank you for having us. Hello, everybody, even though I cannot see all of you. It's great to be here with you. I was not only lucky to marry an amazing person that you see on the screen, because she's also a beautiful mother to my beautiful children. But at the same time, she's really smart, ambitious, and a business and success-driven woman with a huge background in finance. And I will tell you later on why this is so important. So basically, we complement us, right? Her financial background, having worked for years at Goldman Sachs, CDP Capital, and being a great communicator, and my Deadpool face. Yes, a lot of people think I'm Ryan Reynolds. What I meant to say, my soccer background helped us to build something that we're very proud of, that has been very sustainable for the last 10 years, and that has a true story to tell. And we are very grateful for that. But again, this is just a Deadpool face, and I love to wear masks over it. But the brain behind everything is my wife, Raluca, who will tell you a little bit about myself, which is not so important.
Thank you, Christian. All right, Raluca, you got to top that.
I don't know how to top that, but thank you for the introduction. Yes, I did meet Christian while I was working in finance, and he told me that he plays football, as they call it in Europe. And I said, do you do anything else? Because I wasn't just impressed with that. But
now the truth comes out, ladies and gentlemen. Now the truth comes out.
But then when I ended up going to watch his games in Germany and then in England, and when I saw him lifting the Premier League trophy and winning it, I said, okay, maybe I'll give you some more credit. What you do is very impressive. So when I met him, I did work in finance. I worked at Prudential Securities. I worked at Goldman Sachs. I worked at the largest Canadian pension fund. But one of us needed to quit their job. And when we put everything in balance and when we saw whose career is shorter, we decided that I should be the one that quits her job. And I did, even though I was very addicted to finance. It's, as you probably all know, it is a very addictive industry. And I had to quickly reinvent myself. And of course, always with Christian's vision of providing children with the best possible soccer training. We opened our soccer academy 10 years ago, and we then purchased a sports complex outside of New York City, and our business very slowly and carefully grew over time. I run the business, but everything is with Christian's vision in mind. So that's my little history, and now Christian, back to you so you can talk about our business.
Of course. So there are two businesses right now which share the same location, right? It's up in Warwick, New York, just on the border to New Jersey. Our house up there, our backyard is in New Jersey, so that's how close we are to New Jersey, but also that's how close we are to New York. And one is the Soccer Academy, which I will talk about, because that's all I know, as you heard right now from Raluca. And the other one is Hudson Sports Complex, which we use as our base. So let's stay with Fox Soccer. It's our baby that we have grown in the last 10 years into 10 locations worldwide. 5 are in the US, 4 in the UK, with another one opening next year, and 1 in my home country, Austria, Sound of Music. I think you're aware of that. But our soccer academy is not the only academy, is not the only company that we have. But we tried, besides those two, a lot more. So believe it or not, we eventually had vodka, gin, and rum. So we went a spirits industry at some point. We did clothing, right? We were in esports. Let's say we have tried it all. And now we are working with children and young adults with our academy in an educational environment. But believe it or not, there's one common ground, or one thing that we realized really fast, which is to be able to tell a story. So not just to try it, but really think how you want to approach it. And a story that people can identify themselves with, that they believe in. And our story is very simple. It's that we want to give back to the community. Our story is based on experiences. My upbringing in the soccer environment, which started obviously very early in Europe by the age of, my parents told me I kicked the first ball when I was 8 months old. Believe it or not, I don't. Anyway, and I'm sure that Garrick Jones, who spoke here before, who I very much enjoyed listening to, can confirm that when you're an aspiring young player, or even then when you're professional, the career of an athlete has way more rejections than upsides, right? The upsides are very small, very short, but the majority of time that you spend in your career from early on until very late is about rejections. And that's very normal. It can be injuries, it can be being told that you're just not good enough. And that was my personal story. And because I went through so many no's as a teenager, always being told, yes, I was told many times I was not good enough, made me stronger. It helped me deal with the downs that happened later in my career, and I took it as a motivation. I took it as a motivation so far that I just wanted to show all those no-sayers that I'm worth it, that I'm better, right? And eventually, like you saw before, I love the jersey, by the way. I won the Premier League with Leicester in 2016. And I consider myself blessed because all it takes is one person that believed in me. And because I was so fortunate to have had this one person that helped me to succeed, I feel right now it's my huge responsibility to be this one person myself, to pass on my experience, my knowledge to the next generation of aspiring athletes. And listen, I'm aware that there's only a little percentage of players that will make it professional or that will continue football beyond their 20s. But for most, it's about building relationships that will help them later on in life, which they might not realize right now. Plus they stay active, which is also a good achievement, right? But then there are those odd numbers, and this is now where we're really aiming high with our academy. We really want to nurture talent to an extent that they really have a realistic shot to make something out of the game they love, right? Because there's this odd number of players that have a legitimate possibility to make it professional. That in the last, so I just do the quick math in my head, in the last 4 or 5 years, we have signed, that number is correct, 15 players. It was either to professional contracts or to pro academy contracts. So let's say it's Charlotte FC, where I am right now, right? We have our own academy. So we have been able to pick up players from the street to bring them into, to reintegrate them into the system, to give them the opportunity to achieve what they dream of since they're young. And I want to give you one quick example, because I know our time is short as well. A very quick example of Denzel Ajiman. No, Ajiampong, sorry. Ajiman is one of my players here right now. So this young player we picked up when he was 8 years old in London on the streets. We saw him playing in a park with his friends, and we saw something in him, right? And fast forward 10 years later, he's been with us for 10 years. He has been signed professional 2 years ago to a USL club, which is the second highest league you can play in the United States, and has made his dream come true. So besides helping young players to really enjoy the game, to nurture the love for the game, to give them a sense of community within our academy, we also have those opportunities to sign players with our network that we have to professional contracts, which makes us obviously really, really proud. I think that's enough from the academy, Raluca. Do you think I missed out on anything?
I think it's important to tell people a little bit about what it takes to run an academy. So they don't think that they can just go and start it tomorrow and be successful overnight.
Okay, very simple. And it's a really, really strong partner.
That's not what I was looking for. But
I think no, I'm the partner. No, I think like every other business, you need to have the passion. You need to be willing to work odd hours. There is no 10 p.m. There is just, okay, something is needed right now. We're gonna get it done, right? There's a big commitment there, also financially. I mean, when you compare, for example, the UK to the US, UK, everything is government funded, right? You really have a great support system in the UK that helps yourself as an academy, but also those players to give them this opportunity. They see a real value in there. Whereas in the US, it's slightly different, right? There's minimal to none support there from any governing body. That's why we have the pay-to-play system. And nevertheless, I believe that when you provide a product that has its price, and at some point I was okay with the pay-to-play, it's about what you deliver, right? If you deliver a good product and you're not out for just making some money, right? And you have a real story to tell. That's why I was so adamant about what I said before. I think then people see the value in it. But the bottom line is, when I was still an active player, I was in England with a 5-hour time difference to New York. There was long nights, dedication, lots of meetings, lots of communication between Raluca, myself, and our coaches to really give them guidance, to really get not only the players, because the players are our main focus, right? But to get the coaches on board, to buy into what we are trying to achieve, to make them understand what our values are, which is very important to us, that they know about that and where we want to head. So they are part of the decision-making process, which for me is very important, that they feel that they are part of the organization and not only just another coach. And like I said, the other person is the strong business partner that you need to have within that.
So I love that because I know how hard Raluca works as well. Raluca, is there anything you want to tell us about, the business side of all of this, and, how you've maybe translated some of this inspiration or things you're looking to do? And maybe there's I wish you could see the room. It's standing room only. Tons of people here who are aligned, I think, with everything you believe in and who would want to help. So if there's anything, folks here could do, let us know.
Yes. So starting the academy initially, I think, was the hardest part, right? When you start a new business, most of them fail. We are now at this stage where we have because of the amount of players we have under our umbrella in all of our locations, we are now at this stage where we attract big sponsors, which helps our business a lot, where people are finally hearing who we are. Where I could be in a country or in a strange little tiny state somewhere, and they say, oh yeah, we've heard of Fox Soccer Academy. We've heard of you. We've heard you're tough. I don't know what that means, but we finally have this luxury of being able to speak to Adidas and Coke and Body Armor and like different companies that finally pay attention to us. Why? Because of the numbers of spectators, because of the numbers of bodies and eyes that are permanently with us. And it opens up the door for projects that we never even thought about, such as creating a sports specific boarding school right outside of New York City. That's something we're working on right now. Something we never thought about 5 years ago, but it comes in naturally. The bigger you get, the more successful you are, the more success stories that you have. And yes, it helps that Christian is behind this, because if I was Joe Schmo going and opening an academy, I wouldn't have nearly as much success as we have, because Christian is behind it, because people know him, because he's an MLS coach, because he's on Sky Sports all the time, because they just know him. And, you know, the people in the room from Austria know that he was the captain of the national team for a very long time. I wish there was more involvement from Austrian companies, to be honest, because they
Been pointing at them.
they're not as open as coming out of Austria as much as others, and I don't know why. I'm not sure. You know, maybe one day I'll figure out why. But yeah, we are at that stage in our company lifetime where we are attracting bigger brands, and it helps our business, because we like to grow, but very carefully and very steady. We're not about volume, we're about quality. And the second that quality drops in the service that we're providing, then we're not going to get the satisfaction of doing what we really want to do, especially at Christian's super high standard to provide the best possible soccer training for kids to develop and to learn life lessons.
Thank you so much. I know we're probably coming up against time, so thank you. I know the room will have questions. Maybe there's some way we can get those to you, or we'll figure something out. We're sorry you couldn't be here in person. We understand you have to coach the team, and you're all doing that. So thank you. Yeah, this has been wonderful. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You can find us all on LinkedIn if you have any questions.
Back to coaching.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.